Hi guys, welcome to Rinschef in Rin's kitchen. In this kitchen we keep it simple, homemade and available per se, or realistic. So today we are going to make something special. It's fish known as emonye in my mother tongue. We also call it monye in short, but in English it is known as catfish. Ile samaki kona ma vitu. It looks like it has those cat things hapa juu. It looks almost the same as mudfish, but the only difference, mudfish is found in mud, catfish is found in the water. They're both I will share photos of the fish so that you guys can understand what I mean when I say I'm preparing monye. So this fish is quite big enough. You can have it fresh, direct from the lake. You can dry it, sun dry. You can roast it, or you can deep fry it before you can prepare it. For instance, mine came all the way from home. Thanks so much, mommy. Came all the way from home and she'd deep fried it already. So I just want to make stew out of it. So this is the fish. You can have a look. The fish, notice how thick the skin is. This is the skin. And it's been frozen for quite a while, about 3 weeks. That's why you're seeing a lot of ice on it. So sometimes when it's a lot, I normally pick some and just store them in the freezer. That is where you should store your fish if you don't want to cook it immediately, so that it can stay longer, it doesn't rot. See how hard it is. We're going to have our fish with these vegetables. These are matawi ya maragwe. I'm not so sure how they're called in English. And some mchicha. I hear wazungu wakiita mchicha spinach. Yeah, so we're going to have this and this. Now, for the ingredients on how we're going to make the fish, I'm only going to need onion, garlic, tomatoes. Tomatoes, I'm just using them so that I can get the feel of fresh tomatoes. But the main ingredient is our magic sauce. Remember the sauce we made some time back? I decided to brand it magic sauce because this sauce is truly magic. And I will be showing you lots and lots of things that I prepare with this sauce. So karibuni once more. Okay guys, how you dice or slice your onions entirely depends on what you're preparing. You can finely chop them, you can chop large chunks, you can grate. It basically depends on what you want to achieve as your end product. So do not assume that every time you're cooking you need to prepare your onions as julienne or you need to slice them. No, you can play around with your onions. Sometimes they give you meal a very beautiful look and taste depending on how they are sliced. Slice it into half. Then I just need to, but this generally guys, this is one of my favorite ways of chopping your onions because zinapotelea kwa chakula. When you're eating, you don't come across the onions or the tomatoes. When I say onions, I am not only referring to red onions, white onions, or the green leafy onions. I'm also referring to garlic. You can also decide how you want to have your garlic. So today, I want to chop the garlic. Why? Garlic, for those who do not like or are not pleased by the smell of fish, mostly garlic neutralizes the smell. It becomes a bit mild, not as strong as it would be if you didn't have garlic. So that's a kitchen hack I'm giving you guys. If you don't like fish that much, just prepare your fish with garlic. And make sure the garlic has bigger chunks per se. I just want my garlic to be almost the same size as the onions, not too big, not too small. So So that's how I want to have my garlic. They're not too big, they're not too small. Because you know, again, this fish is not so common unless you're coming from where I come from. So different people might have an issue with it or with the smell. We have our garlic ready. And finally, I want us to have our tomatoes ready. For the tomatoes, you can shred them, you can blend them, you can slice them. Depends with how you love your tomatoes. But because I'm using the magic sauce, I wouldn't want to see very huge chunks. And again, I don't want all the tomato to disappear. Remember those 2 points. Next, we're going to cook our dish. Fire is on. Our pan is empty and clean. Remember, the magic sauce helps you use very little cooking oil. So we're going to put our oil, our cooking oil, just a little. See, I've not even finished it in my cup. Just enough to cook your onions and your garlic. That's it. One on the pan after the cooking oil is our garlic. Once you put your garlic, just cook it for a few seconds. Just a few seconds, then add your onions. Enough onions. Let them cook for about a minute. I don't want them to cook so much. Garlic and onion almost have the same function when it comes to fish. The less you cook them, the better for you because of the flavor. So that is what I have for my onions and my garlic. Notice how they look. Zimenyonya mafuta, but they're still not well cooked. And that is when I'm going to add my tomatoes. Mix them. Remember, our magic sauce has some little salt. So I'm just going to put a little to help with the tomatoes cooking. That's another kitchen hack. If you're preparing tomatoes and you want them to cook faster, add salt. So guys, I believe salt is a tenderizer per se when it comes to tomatoes and even meat. Yeah, when you're preparing your tomatoes and you want them to cook faster, or they're those kind of tomatoes that when you cook, they are ripe, yes, but when you cook, it's like hazibundeki vizuri. Just add some little salt, mix it nicely, and then cover it for a few minutes. You come back, your tomatoes are done. Yeah, almost a minute later, see what we have. Our tomato has juiced. Imeiva. And if you cover it for long, it becomes even more saucier. But I'm comfortable with what I have. Next, I'm just going to add the magic sauce. My sauce has mixed well with the other ingredients. Then I'll add water. The water should be enough for your stew. I guess that's enough for me. Don't put too much, don't put too little. And then I'll put in our fish and bring it to a boil. It's 30 minutes later and our fish is ready. You can just have a look so that you know what to look out to confirm that the fish is ready. See how this skin has left the meat. Ngozi imetoka kwa nyama. You see the skin and the fish, it's like they're separate. That shows you the fish is ready. If you let it cook longer, then this skin itatoka kabisa. It will come out completely so that you have your fish and the skin, but hivyo itakuwa ime overcook, and we don't want to achieve that. Another thing, you see how big the fish has become, huh? The more it cooks, inafura, it becomes bigger chunks. See how big they are? So we'll prepare our veggies and our accompaniment. We'll prepare our veggies and our accompaniment. Then we'll have our fish. Unazitengeneza kwanza, kuzidondoa. Next time I'm making vegetables, I'll show you how I remove mine. We are talking about kutoa hizi. Then there are some you can just cut and prepare. Some you can prepare when they are whole. Like this, even if it is a bit hard, the mchicha or spinach will tenderize it. It will make it softer. So I have my onions in my oil. They're cooking nicely. I'll add some little salt. Add some little salt. Let it cook for a minute longer until the onions begin to turn color. Some people would prefer to boil the veggies first, but I don't see the need. I came to realize for these veggies, 99% of what you need is the pigment and the water that comes from them. So if you boil them and then you pour the water, then you will have killed most of the vitamins. So I normally prefer my vegetables just directly fried. If they need to be boiled, I just add some little water. Once you put your veggies, just try and mix them so that again your onions do not burn at the bottom. Mix them vizuri, and then you cover your pan so that they cook nicely also. We'll give it 5 minutes because of the mchicha. It will tenderize the veggies. Our veggies are ready. Zinanukia. And they're still green, you see? This is what I was talking about. So you get your veggies zikikona the original color, so you get all the nutrients that the veggies are supposed to provide. And so next we're going to serve our meal. Guys, remember we talked about the onions and the tomatoes not being overcooked. You see what I was talking about? Here I can say I have some garlic, then I have some onion, and there's some tomatoes, and then we have the stew, which still looks perfect and it's still thick enough. And we have our fish. Look at the skin. You see, it's not yet completely off, but ilikuwa imeanza kutoka, meaning the fish is well cooked. See how it cuts? You see? It's tender enough. And then we have our vegetables. Lovely. And our ugali, obviously. We have our ugali, our matawi za maharagwe and chicha, and emonye or catfish prepared and ready for serving. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you try this recipe at home for your family. Don't forget to like, please share, subscribe. Thank you so much for following. Till next time, adios.